All right, everyone. Good afternoon. I'd like to call to order the Town of Ulysses Comprehensive Plan Steering Committee meeting for November 5th, 2025. It is 5 o'clock. So first order of business today will be roll call. We can go around the table.
Carl Funkowski, planning board. Well, planning boards.
Neil Stigason, town planner.
Kim Moore, business owner and BCA.
Roxanne Marino, Conservation and Sustainability Advisory Council.
Ty Vasilius, committee member.
Karen Metter, committee member and BCA member.
Allison Weaver, committee member.
Liz Weatherby, acting chair today, and town member. So I'm very happy to see folks here. We have an agenda in front of us. If anybody sitting needs a copy, there are some copies up on the podium. If we need more, we can get those printed. But to start, has everybody on the committee had a chance to look at the agenda? Okay. Any discussion or amendments? I have one, but Roxanne, why don't you go first, please?
Yeah, I sent a request yesterday, which was completely ignored, asking for clarification on the agenda. So there are several things I feel are not here, which we had talked about having during this meeting. The first is a discussion in our public session here of the thoughts shared by 3 committee members to the full group by email after 10/26 regarding concerns with the pace of the process and alternatives. Emails from both the supervisor and the planner indicated that this dialogue would be continued in public session today. I don't see anywhere where that's happening, so I'd like that added. Discussion of committee comments and concerns submitted on the 10/17 full draft document at our last committee meeting on 10/22. All the members were asked to review it and submit written comments by 10/26. Since this is the first meeting since then, and in our 10/22 discussion of our path forward, there was a clear intent to have discussion at our next meeting, which would be this one, at a minimum, the high level concerns raised by committee members. I don't see where that is here. And also presentation of the draft resolution, which we received at 12:30 today, to recommend that the town board adopt the 2045 comprehensive plan. There is nothing on this agenda that says we're dealing with a resolution. And so I'd like to see where those things are added if we're really doing them.
Anybody else have any thoughts or comments? In line with Roxanne's comment, I do have a couple modifications I'd like to propose. I would like to move the approval of the past minutes to the end of the meeting so that we can get to what folks here want to talk through and public hearing. So we can move that to I don't know what it'll end up being. Just before adjournment, we'll figure out the numbering in a second. I also would like, after the public hearing, talk about timing and the draft that we received on 10/26.
So the first 2 things I said.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. So we can do the timing and then the comments, the high level or consensus comments that folks had on the 10/26. I think right now, yeah, but it's just easier. You can go wherever you want. I think I'd like to leave it at that. Any thoughts, comments? So I'll make a motion to amend the agenda.
Second.
Any discussions on that motion?
I would actually like it to be I mean, I guess you could say the 10/26, but we were given very little time to read that, and there were 300 comments on the 10/17, so I'd like comments that people had that were high level, which was apparently determined by the consultant, but by the people who actually are sitting here to be able to be addressed. I'm not even sure what all is included in the 10/26 document, which we could have had less, just exactly today, 5 full days over a weekend and a work week.
So we can talk about the drafts. I'll make an amendment to my motion so that 8 would be comment on the draft, including 10-17 and 10-26, which would make approval of past minutes 9 and adjournment 10.
Thank you.
That, okay? Hearing no questions or concerns, take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, keep this next to me so I don't forget. So we do offer a privilege of the floor. We do have the public hearing tonight, so if you would like to wait and put your comments, whether you talk on the privilege of the floor or the public hearing, you will be on the record for talking. But the privilege of the floor is really for anything that's not specifically on the agenda tonight. So if anybody will go back and forth, just a reminder, we have 3 minutes. And let me just get my timer out. I meant to do that before. But yeah, you can come up to the podium. We'll go back and forth online and in person. And please state your name
Yes,
and your address.
Gordy, 1650 Boyd Hill Road, here with my husband, Tom Murray. While I'd absolutely like to adhere to your rules and guidelines for public comment with respect to your verbal, giving verbal comment relative to items the committee not concerned not on the agenda, it is impossible to do so. However, considering that this may be your last meeting, as noted at your 10/22 meeting by you, Ms. Weatherby. We received notice of this public hearing either by the email October 24th from Carissa or through a postcard that we received, essentially giving us 11 to 7 days to read 180 pages. I also note that the public was not given access to any of the appendices, which are substantial components to a comprehensive plan. I attempted to do the review. I spent 2.5 days listening to your meetings, and became even more concerned about the process and the speed at which this update was being finalized by the committee. I contacted a member of the committee on Saturday, October 31st, to discuss my concerns, and learned at the time the committee had received a compiled full document on 10/17 to comment on, and then a further updated comment with edits made by the consultants in the response on 10/31 after the chapters had been made available to the public for the hearing. So in fact, the public does not have the latest version of the chapters, and you will potentially be voting to move the document you have in your possession onto the town board tonight, not even considering the comments to be given by the public tonight,